Okay, good evening. My name is Janine Davis. I am a member of the Pushing Lovely Facebook group and blog website. We are here tonight having another of our fabulous hangouts. Tonight, our hangout is on creating a persona, and this is hosted by our very own Rivkah Krasnoff. On Monday the 13th, we have a hangout, which is going to be part three in our series on business planning. It's the marketing. I'll be hosting that one. On Tuesday the 14th, we have our own Mandy Buckner, who's going to be hosting a hangout on using that great service Flipboard. And on January 16th, we have another great hangout scheduled. That one is on how to find balance in your work home life that works with your unbalanced schedule. That's going to be hosted by Wanda Fernandez. Tonight, once again, like I said, we have our very own Rivkah Krasnoff who's hosting this hangout on creating a persona. So without further ado, I'm going to turn everything over to her, and I'm sure you'll be getting out your pen and paper to take notes like I will be.
Am I ready to go?
Yes, you're ready to go. The floor is yours.
All right, awesome. Good evening, ladies. It's a pleasure to be presenting today. I wanted to give you a little bit blurb about myself. I have two names. Rivkah is my Hebrew name. Rivkah is Rebecca in the Bible. And Irene is my given name, which I use in professional settings. So I have a background in business, and I've enjoyed being a part of the Pushing Lovely group, and I've learned a lot. So my motto for 2014 is to be a contributor besides a consumer of information. So as part of that contribution, I envision 2014 as being a way to contribute my business and marketing expertise. If there are any specific topics you want to hear about, please message me and I'll be glad to cover that. So I chose creating a personae because understanding your target market and your customer is the essence of successful product or service launch. And it relates very nicely to blogging because oftentimes when we blog, our post goes out into the nebulous world of the internet, and sometimes it is very difficult to visualize who your audience is. And so what creating a persona does, it helps to put a face to your reader, and that influences your blogging and your post. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off this presentation with more details on what a persona is, and then talk about creating a persona for yourself as a blogger and also a persona for your target audience, and then I'll conclude with some key takeaways. If you have any questions, feel free to post them on chat. I'll try to get to them in the course of the presentation. Otherwise, at the end of the presentation, I'll answer your questions. Okay, so here it goes. So the definition of a persona is it is a fictional representation of your ideal online reader, client, and customer. A lot of marketers love to do this because it's a great way for them to visualize their customer and get into the mind of the set of the customer, understand and have a grasp of the customer's needs and expectations. And oftentimes, creating a persona is based out of formal and informal research. And by formal research, I mean market research, creating focus groups, going out to the mall, for example, and then surveying shoppers and statistical information and so on and so forth. An informal one might be doing some Google research, talking to your friends and family. So usually in terms of blogging, for myself, I've noticed that the informal research is the way that I tend to go because I don't have the time to do the formal research. In the informal way, I can ask friends and family and also get a sense from my Google search. So essentially, a person that describes a different user types, and usually it's within a target selected demographic. For example, a persona might be a parent between the ages of 21 and 50 seeking extracurricular activities for the children between 0 and 12. The persona represents the goals and behavior of a group of product or service users or consumer of information. The goal is to get them to use your product, service, or to read your blog, or to be a subscriber to your blog, and to be engaged. And persona is a great way to bridge the gap between the real customer experiences and expectations and experience and desire, and the marketer's assumption or the writer's assumption of what the customer or the reader's needs and expectations are. And within creating a persona, you're going to take into account the challenges, the goals, the behaviors and desires of the end user. And usually it involves a 1 to 2-page description of the behavior patterns of your target customer, their goals, their skills, their demographics, their attitude, the environment that they're in. And the description is usually fictional, just like creating the characters of a novel. So I find this to be very exciting from a creative perspective. If 1 to 2 pages seems too daunting, a paragraph description is fine, and you can add a little bit of flavor by copying some images from Google and adding that in so you have a picture of your target reader. Now, the benefits of creating a persona is that it puts a personal human face to your reader, to your customer and client. And the personalization provides the better ability to visualize a tangible online audience instead of just sending out your post and then waiting for the best to happen in terms of clicks and readership. And it provides a focus and direction to your blog. Your content is guided to the extent to which you're meeting the information needs of your online audience. And some other key characteristics, as I mentioned earlier, is that creating a persona is a great way to understand and delve into the thoughts, feelings, and behavior of your customers or your reader. It's almost like mind reading. And creating a persona can also lead you to ask pertinent questions related to assessing the quality of your blog or post. Is the information that I'm providing valuable? What new insights could I possibly provide to my readers? And what supporting information do I need? What kinds of graphic do I need to show that's going to draw in my readers and bring in new readers and keep my existing readers engaged? And first of all, you want to start by creating your own persona. And why do you want to do this? Through showing who you are in your writing, you will compel others to read your post, and then it will also motivate you to post on a regular basis because it's going to be that much more fun to show the fun side of your personality. You can engage your readers, you can pique their interest and motivate them to share your posts via social media. And the way that you show your personality, you want to decide, is your blog more for professional use or if it's more for personal fun use. If it's for professional use, you're going to show your personality in a very professional way. You're going to inject some sense of humor. You're going to have a different tone in your writing that speaks of your professionalism, versus if you're writing for fun, it's going to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more humor, a little bit of showing your bold and brassy personality. So it's going to be an entirely different feel. What this does is it draws your reader in, and it also makes it, like I said, makes it fun for you. Your persona is different than your brand. For example, your brand might be the provider of discounts and deals and coupons in order to realize greater saving. Or your brand might be someone who is aspiring toward being a mompreneur. That's entirely different than letting your personality show through in your writing. And you want to decide what aspects well beyond and overwhelmed with debt and they don't know how to get out of it. What exactly, and also what exactly are they doing about their situation? Are they addressing the situation effectively? Is there something that you might be able to do in terms of your blog that might help them better address the situation? And also, what is the person's fear? Are they afraid that when they're at old age they won't have enough retirement money, or are they afraid they're not going to realize their life dreams? Whatever it is, just write all of those down, and then based on all the information that you write down about your persona, then you can better hone in the dream solution to fix their problem or to provide them with the information that they might need that may help them address their situation. And it also drives the different topics of your blog posts. And you can also couple this in with your post statistics to see which posts got the greatest views, and then that shows the greater level of interest, and then you can tailor your persona accordingly. So essentially, a persona gives you a taste of what your reader thinks, feels, wants, needs, and expects. The same thing applies for any company that's wants to promote a specific product or service. Effectively, it gives them a sense of where their customer is at and to provide them with a meaningful experience, a meaningful shopping experience, a meaningful reading experience, and so forth. And I'm going to go ahead and provide some specific examples of a persona so you can see how this works. And I'm going to switch at this point to my PowerPoint presentation. Hopefully, I might not be at the right slide, so please bear with me. I think, here we go. Let's try this. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint screen?
It's still blank. Yes, we see it.
Okay, very good. Okay, this is Sally the Savvy Shopper that I mentioned earlier. Sally is a 35-year-old married stay-at-home mom on a very strict budget. She has 3 children, as you can see in the picture. John, who's 8, Jane, who's 6, and David, who's 3. Sally relies exclusively on her husband's salary to run their household. Their income is $70,000 per year. They live in Dallas, Texas, in a low or middle-income suburb. They have 2 cars, one of which is paid off. After all the expenses are paid, they barely have extra cash. Sally loves a bargain. She spends her Sundays cutting coupons and planning her meals around specials. She relies on thrift stores and sales to buy their children's clothing, and she could use some additional tip to free up some money so that her and her husband can plan cheap vacations and family activities. So, based on that description of a persona, and if this is an example of someone you want to target in your blog, and saving money is one of your passions, then your blog is going to focus on topics like budgeting, money-saving tips, topics like gourmet dishes on a shoestring budget, how to plan a cheap vacation, researching free or inexpensive family activities, how to create the dream family wardrobe without breaking the bank, and so on and so forth. And keep in mind, if your blog, for example, focuses on creative ways to budget and save money, you might have some different persona from different life scenarios. And this is just one example, but you could also have multiple persona. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to the screen. Here we go. Can you see me?
Yes, we see you.
Okay, very good. Just want to make sure. So that's Sally the Savvy Shopper. Another example I'll give, I will go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Hopefully I'm seeing the right thing. Whoops. Okay, can you see my presentation? Is it showing up on the screen?
No, we still see your face.
I wonder how to get back to it. I don't know what's going on. I'll try this and see. Okay, and here we go. Now do you see it?
Give it a okay, yes, we see it.
Okay, very good. This is Denise, the fashion diva. Denise is a 25-year-old business consultant who works for Accenture. She wants to eventually get promoted to partner. Since she works on client projects, her wardrobe essentials include business suits and business casual outfits. I must also mention that she's single. For the weekend and holidays, Denise wants a wardrobe that includes the latest fashions so that she can go out to a variety of events. As much as she enjoys clubbing with her girlfriends, going to classical music symphonies is one of her passions. Her annual income, including bonuses, is $100,000. Denise also loves to travel and often ends up going on dates with professional guys that she meets online, whether on a business trip or just vacationing. If her business travel involves cities like New York and Chicago, she will often extend her stay to the weekends. Go to the next slide. If this is an example of someone in your target readership and high-end fashion is one of your passions, then your blog might focus on the latest fashion trends out of Paris or New York, latest color trends in accessories, how to be fashionable on the road, how to transition from business casual in the office to a date night in one outfit, and so on and so forth. I think I have one more, so I'll just go straight to that. The next one is Mandy the Mompreneur, and this is a persona that I created because I have my Mompreneur blog, so this helps me to visualize my audience. Mandy is a 40-year-old new mommy, similar to my circumstance in my late 40s. My husband and I had our baby after 8 years of infertility, so this is something I feel passionate about, wanting to stay at home to raise my child. So this is the reason why I created my blog, Mompreneur, to help other moms to create their dream stay-from-home business, or to find ways to work within existing companies to have the opportunity to work from home. So Mandy is a 40-year-old mom. It took her years to marry the man of her dreams. After 5 years of infertility, Mandy and her husband are parents of newborn twins, so she has her hands full. Mandy is a generalist who has worked as a project manager for various companies. In 3 months, she faces the decision of whether or not to return to work. Her husband works as chief of staff to the mayor of San Antonio. She has student loans, so they cannot afford to subsist on his salary alone. Mandy does not want to put her twins in daycare. She wants to start a home-based business, but does not know where to begin. And so if this is someone you want to target, and your passion is motherhood and a desire to help moms make a living from home, then your blog might focus on how to discover your passion, how to create a business, how to maintain focus on your business while taking care of your children, time management, how to market your business, and so forth. So, let's see. I'm going to transition back to seeing my face, and we're going to wrap up with some key takeaways. So, if you are an established blogger with solid readership, creating a persona provides the opportunity to evaluate your leadership. Do you have a sense of who your audience is? Is there anyone within your target audience that you're leaving out, or someone who is not within your target audience that could benefit from your blog? When evaluating your post stats to see which ones get the most view, you can use this information to create persona of your current readership, so you get a better understanding and a grasp of who they are. This provides an understanding, additional insights into the topics that trigger their interest and who your readership is, and then based on those topics that trigger their interest, you can have more and more blogs that focus on that topics and have new insights and new avenues within those topics that will, pique your readers' interest and keep them engaged. And if you're doing the subscriber model and you want them to subscribe to your blog, it's a great way to get them to subscribe and increase your subscription base. Creating a persona from your blog stats enables you to also better target your social media outreach. And as you know, this is very important in the world of blogging. So you want to, in terms of promoting your blog, have the right mix of Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and so forth. If you're doing a professional blog, it doesn't make sense to focus most of your energy on Facebook, in Pinterest. You want to focus on LinkedIn. You want to focus on Twitter and spend most of your energy there. That doesn't mean you have to exclude Facebook or Pinterest. You can still capitalize on that, but this drives the amount of emphasis you place on each social media platform. And you can also use hashtags within Twitter to create a community of readers, and also to glean some insights into what are people discussing related to your topic, because you want to provide some additional food for thought. And you want to also see, you also want to use Facebook groups as well, because if it's centered on your topic, it's a great way to see what people are talking about, and it's a great way to also promote your blog. So essentially, use insights from your blog stats and your social media to create different personae, and use it to write meaningful posts that maintain your current readership, enables you to acquire new readerships, sort of similar to the concept of customer acquisition and retention. You want to keep your existing readers because it is much more difficult to acquire new readers than it is, and it's in terms of cost benefit. You don't want to lose readership. Similar to customer acquisition and retention, it costs 5 times as much to acquire a new customer as it is to retain your existing. So it makes, from a profit standpoint, you want to ensure that you're keeping your current customers, especially your valuable customers, happy. Same thing with blogging. You want to make sure you keep your valuable subscribers happy, engaged in promoting your blog. So that's if you're an established blogger with solid readership. Now, if you're just starting out in the blogging world, or if you want to create a new blog, then creating a persona is beneficial, because it gives you an opportunity to establish the audience that you want to target. So from the get-go, you can have your blog be very focused on different themes per month and different topics per post, all having a theme that's very, very focused and addresses and speaks to the need of your target audience. And this way, it gives your audience a face instead of, as I mentioned earlier, your blog post just going into the nebulous world of the internet and getting lost. And sometimes for me as a writer personally, I feel the need to be able to visualize who my reader is so I can write accordingly. If I feel my posts are going into the outer space and somewhere else floating out there, my motivation to write is not nearly as strong as if I can visualize the mom who has the baby who doesn't want to go back to work in 3 months. It just gives me the extra energy I need to do my research to write my post. And creating a persona, as I mentioned earlier, keeps you in touch with the thoughts, feelings, and expectations of your reader. And also, when you create your own persona, it puts you in touch with who you are as a writer and adds a new level of fun and energy to yourself as a writer. So that concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to take any questions and comments and any feedback you might have.
Okay, I'm going to jump in before anybody else. I liked your presentation a lot.
Thank you.
I've been blogging for a while now. I've never done the persona thing. I mean, I have in my mind an idea of who my reader is, but I never did what you did. I like how you had the different personas. It's this person, this is her husband, her kids, or no husband. I really like that, and I think that for me personally, if I don't do anything else for my blog, but if I sit down this weekend and write out the personas, and then then it'll be easy for me to keep them in mind when I write. You know, and so I don't have a question. I just wanted to share with you how I'm just really excited right now because I like that idea of create this person, who she is, Because
Uh-huh.
my blog is all about these women, and
Mhm.
it's a couple different kinds of women. Some stay-at-home moms, for some of the things I write, but a lot of the things I write are for working women who work
Mhm.
outside the home and for moms who work in home. And so
Uh-huh.
I think I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write up my little personas for each person. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
pin a picture with it, and I can just
Mhm.
put that on the little side of my screen just to
Mhm.
remember when I'm writing. So I'm going to let somebody else talk, but I just wanted to share with you how excited I am and how
Mhm.
I think that idea is really going to help me. So I appreciate it very much.
Thanks. And see, I'm starting to do that also with my blog because I want to take my blog to a new level. And I believe that this will help me get my blog to that level. And I also think the beauty of marketing is that it just ties in so nicely with the world of blogging. Um,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Okay. This is Mandy. I I also really love the presentation, and I really think that it will help when you're trying to decide what to write and how to write it. But what, and I may have missed this, but what's the best way to identify do you create who your target reader is, or what's the best way to identify who's already reading, who's already following you?
That is a very good question. I I I guess I need to look in that in more in detail because my blog is not fully developed. But the way that I identified my target reader was based on doing some web-based research on other blogs and also other groups and Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and hearing the struggles of women who say, I want to have that work from home job so I don't have to leave my child in the daycare. So that sort of motivated me to do my persona. So it will involve a mix of doing research on Google, talking to friends and family members, and can also, if you have insight from your subscriber and you have a sense of who your readers are, you can also use that to create persona. Did I answer your question, Mandy?
Yes, you did. You did. So I have to do a little market research kind of thing.
Yes, it's very, very informal. That's what
Okay.
I've been doing is basic, just Google research, looking at other blogs, looking, and you can also look at Facebook groups that fit your blog or your topic and see what people are saying.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hey y'all, this is Yolanda.
Hi, Yolanda.
Hello. I was just about when Mandy was asking the question. One thing that I see some bloggers doing is putting surveys on their blogs
Mm-hmm.
and asking those questions about demographics. And
Uh-huh.
something I've done in the past for clients is
Uh-huh.
um, when they do the subscription list, how you can ask for their name.
Mm-hmm.
For one client, he wanted to know their zip codes and whether they were male or female. And in order to sign up to get the free ebook that he had, they would have to put in their name, their zip code, and their
Mm-hmm.
gender. So you can try something like that. Maybe create something specifically for if they sign up for your mailing list or something. To
Mm-hmm.
grab those demographics. And
Mm-hmm.
also with your target audience, you decide who your target audience is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you want it to be black women from 17 to 21 or white men from
Mm-hmm.
25 to 35, you get to decide that and you just write for whoever your target audience is.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you'll get some people outside of their audience, but you decide.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a very good point. I didn't think about that with the survey on the mailing list. I'm getting the basic demographics and then determining, you can determine that yourself, you're correct. And you can also determine that also based on what people are saying through social media or through research.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments they want to share right now? Okay. Sister, I'm going to just stop the broadcast right now.